Our last topic in section 1.2 is an example of an application that we see for converting between decimals and percents. That application is sales tax. So in order to calculate sales tax, we want to first convert the sales tax percentage to a decimal. And then we want to multiply that decimal by the price of the item. Now you want to keep in mind that this only calculates the tax. You also have to pay for your item. We're going to look at a few examples. The first example says that a book has a sales price of $8.99. The sales tax is 6%. So we have two questions. We first want to figure out the sales tax on the book, and then we want to know what is the total bill for the book. Okay, so remember our steps. Our first step is to convert the sales tax percentage to a decimal. All right, so we're going to take that 6% and we're going to convert it to a decimal. So remember that in order to convert a percent to a decimal, we are going to take the decimal and move it 2 places to the left. All right, so here's the decimal after the 6. We're going to move it 2 places to the left. So that's 1 place, that's 2 places. And remember that we're going to add a 0 in here to hold that place. Okay, so our sales tax as a decimal is going to be 0.06. Okay, so that first part's done. The second part says multiply the decimal by the price of the item. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to take that 0.06 and I am going to multiply it by the price of the item. So I'm going to be multiplying by 8.99. And so I'm going to type that in my calculator. And that gives me 0.5394. Now remember that this is the tax. So normally our tax is going to be rounded to 2 decimal places because we're talking about cents, dollars and cents, and so 2 decimal places make sense. So remember that what we want to do is we want to look at our 3rd decimal place, and if that number is 5 or more, we're going to bump the 2nd value up. So since we have a 9 in that location, that 0.53 is going to go ahead and bump up to 0.54. All right, so that is the sales tax that is being charged for the book. So I'm going to go ahead and write that right here. We pay 54 cents for sales tax. Now, remember that we also have to pay for the book. So how much is the total bill for the book? Well, the book cost $8.99. And we're also going to have to pay 54 cents in tax. So we're going to add these two numbers together. And that will give me my total. So $8.99 plus 0.54 gives me a total of $9.53. So the only tricky part about these problems is that you really do have to pay attention to what they're asking for. Are they asking for the tax or are they asking for the total? All right, let's try another one. A used car has a sales price of $9,500. The sales tax is 8.5%. Again, the first question is asking us how much sales tax is charged for the car. So the first thing I need to do is take my tax percentage and I need to convert it to a decimal. So I'm going to move that decimal place 2 places to the left. I'm adding in that 0 to hold that place. So my sales tax percent written as a decimal is 0.085. And remember that the next thing I do is that I multiply that times the price of the item that I'm buying. All right, so I'm going to put that in my calculator. So 0.085 times 9,500 is going to give me 807.5. And remember that that is your tax. So $807.50. The next question asks, how much is the total price of the car? So what do we need to do in this case? We need to remember that we're going to have to actually pay for the car. And the car is $9,500. And we're going to have to pay for the tax. And so we're going to add those two values together using my calculator. And that is going to give me a total of $10,307.50. Okay, one final example. You purchase a notebook for $2.99 and a pack of pencils for $1.75. The sales tax rate is 7.25%. How much is the total when you get to the cash register? All right, so this one is a little more complicated because I'm buying 2 items. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to figure out how much is it going to cost before tax. So I know that I am buying a notebook for $2.99 and I am buying a pack of pencils for $1.75. So the total for just my items, I'm going to add this on my calculator, is going to be $4.74. All right, so now let's deal with the tax. So I need to first take this tax percentage and make it a decimal. So I'm going to move that decimal place 2 places to the left, and my decimal now will be 0.0725. And we're going to multiply that times the price of our items. So I'm going to multiply that times 474 because that's the total of the items that I'm going to buy. All right, so this gives me, I'm going to write this whole decimal out so we can look at it, 34.36.5. All right, so remember that we need this as 2 decimal places. So I am going to look at my 3rd digit. Remember, if it's 5 or more, we're rounding up. Otherwise, we're going to leave it alone. So that tax is going to be just 34 cents. Okay, because the number that I marked here is a 3. So that means that this is going to just stay as it is. So our tax is just going to be 34 cents. All right, so now the question says, how much does it cost you when you get to the cash register? What's the total that you're going to have to pay? Well, again, we know that we're going to have to pay for the items. and the items cost $4.74. And then we're going to have to pay the tax on those items, and that's that 34 cents. So to get my total, I'm going to need to add those two together. So my total is going to be $5.08.